Holy crap, Halo Infinite feels absolutely incredible right now. I wasn't honestly going to believe it would feel any different. If you don't know what's going on, they just released a big update for Halo Infinite. Everyone said Halo Infinite was dead because they were moving away from seasons, and yet this is arguably one of the biggest updates it has received. I will point you to my buddy BBK Dragoon's video for a full breakdown on it. But TLDR, they implemented an entire new netcode system, and from what I can tell, they basically just removed lag compensation. But on mouse and keyboard, at least, the game has felt horrible since launch. They have made some minor tweaks over time that have made it feel better, but playing with the sniper rifle still felt not great, and it was a massive disappointment for me as someone who can't really play on controller anymore, and who came from the OG Halo days where it felt great on console, and then Halo 3 in MCC felt amazing. It was one of, I was so worried before MCC came to the PC that it was not going to be great because it was an Xbox 360 game, and like that one was the only one out of the first three that never had a PC release. I was really worried about it, and then it wound up feeling better than I could have ever possibly imagined. More responsive, just ready to rock. And then Halo Infinite comes out, and it feels sluggish, it feels not responsive, and it has basically anti-aim assist for mouse and keyboard users. And I just felt betrayed. It really sucked. It really ruined the game for me for a bit. They improved it a little bit over time, and it started to feel a lot better, enough that I was comfortable going back to the game and still perform decently. But then I fired up after this update where they just completely overhauled the netcode and fixed desync and a lot of other issues, and I am slamming. Like, holy crap, this match was amazing. It feels so responsive. No scoping, quick scoping, BR. I still can't get used to the Bandit Evo. I know they made some tweaks for it to fix Bloom. That does, the Bandit and the Evo do feel a little better in that regard, but like it's just not a gun I have a whole lot of time with. But the BR feels insane. Even the pistol feels a little better. Like, this is a damn good time. Again, I'll point you to BBK Dragoon's video. They had a couple other like changes with this update, but that was the big one for me. Like, ooh, this is it. This is how the game should have launched. They would have kept so many mouse and keyboard players around had it launched this way, because it just, this is how every PC game should feel, nice and responsive. There's apparently still some degree of like a desync issue, or like the aim assist gets kind of funky if you have screen tearing, which is super weird. So you want adaptive sync and fast sync and reflex and all of that on. But overall, this is the best Halo Infinite has ever felt. In some ways, I would argue Halo 3 probably still feels a little bit better, but its matchmaking pool is kind of a train wreck right now, since everyone's playing other games or Infinite. And Infinite just feels so snappy and moves so quickly. Like, I am... Whew, I don't know. This is good. I'm torn in two ways, because I feel like this is the point that the game could take back off from. But I also know that players get weirdly, like, they start holding grudges. I've noticed this, and it's especially with free-to-play games, which makes absolutely no sense to me. Halo's multiplayer was free to play. And people still have this kind of grudge that they hold, where they're like, well, they didn't launch right, so I'm never going to play it. And they do the same thing with Battlefield. Like, 2042 is an amazing game right now. Has been for over a year. But people are like, nah, I didn't like how it launched, so I'm never going back. Even people that paid for it and didn't get a refund. It's like, why? You paid for it. Go enjoy it. Same thing with, like, if you are a Halo fan and the Halo game is now playable and really good, and people that you know and trust are telling you it's really good, why would you say you're never going back? Like, yes, there has to be some accountability, and we're not at a point where we can hold that accountability right now. But sure, there has to be some accountability for all these games launching in broken states. But it is an industry-wide problem, and putting the weight of that on any one game is never going to work out. At the same time, I think it's very important to show up and reward dev work that fixes games or makes them come out in a much better state. And that is what we are seeing here. I think, especially because of how games work with regards to funding and like publisher prioritization and whatever, especially with it coming out that supposedly MCC development was basically crippled because they did not implement microtransactions to make money from it. Like, clearly, audience response has big impacts on how the publisher controls the dev of the game, if everyone shows back up after they do a really good thing, the devs are going to be rewarded for that, and the game is going to be prioritized differently for that. And so, yeah, if a game I love from a franchise I've played for 23 years now, that has been a huge part of my life, gets an update that makes it how I've always wanted to be, why would I not play that? Why would I rob myself of that enjoyment of being able to experience it finally? Like, yeah, it sucks that we've had to wait this long. And yeah, it sucks that the game at certain points was in a really bad state. I think it's been more than playable for half its life now. But, you know, like, it sucks, but, like, it's good now. I'm going to enjoy it now. Why would I not? It's super weird to me that people hold these kinds of grudges. And, like, I get it in some way, but at the same time, I'm someone who has so little time for gaming these days as a dad. Like, I really want to prioritize playing stuff I enjoy, and Halo is something that's easy for me to fire up and that I enjoy. Why would I not seek the enjoyment from it? And yeah, when it's going through a bad phase, I'm going to play something else. I got enough time in Baldur's Gate 3 with my wife. I've got Splitgate I could play if I need a multiplayer itch. I've got RuneScape grinds that'll last me the rest of my life. You know, whatever. But while the getting's good, and while we can move the needle a little bit on population and get some good matches going, you know I'm going to be there. Anyway, like I said, just feels great. Wanted to share this match. 30-9, freaking insane on one of my favorite maps, High Ground. This is obviously the Halo 3 Refueled playlist. I tried Squad Battle, didn't really enjoy it. I just don't like AR pistol starts. It's a bad time for me in terms of balance. I feel that way with a lot of playlists, like in every Halo, even in Halo 3, like the ones with the weird starts and stuff. I'm not feeling it. Still felt responsive. I just fumble the weapons a lot. And then I played a ranked match and had a decent time. I won 50-49, but like again, the Bandit Evo, I'm so used to the BR. It's my bread and butter. Remember to be kind. Rewind.